This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're coming to you from the Healthcare Week in San Francisco 2015. I have with me Dayan Goodenowe, Phenomenome Discoveries, a private company. Welcome back to SNNLive. It's been a while.
Good to see you again, Shelley.
Good to see you too.
Good to be back.
So let's get right into it. Tell our audience an overview of the company.
Well, we're Phenomenome Discoveries. We're a medical biotech company focusing on diagnostics and therapeutics. Our real claim to fame is understanding the biochemical mechanisms of disease. And so we've been at this for about 14 years now. And so the last couple of years, what's really been important is that as we've developed biomarkers and translating them into therapeutics as well as into diagnostics, we have spent a lot of time and energy getting our infrastructure up in place. So we're now, it's been a couple of years since I've been here, but we've been able to develop our manufacturing facility to ISO certification, get regulatory clearance of our laboratory business, and now we're getting prepared to submit our first full FDA-approved product line in colon cancer, and we have Health Canada approval of pancreatic cancer and Alzheimer's disease diagnostics.
So how does it work?
Which one?
Well, let's say diagnostics, I think, let's say pancreatic cancer.
So our lead products are colon and pancreatic. They both work in a very similar way, different biomarkers. And the bottom line is what we've identified is instead of diagnosing the disease, we diagnose the individual who gets disease. And so disease has two factors. One is risk or susceptibility, and two is trigger. So people who have a high susceptibility require a little trigger to get a disease. People that have low susceptibility need a high trigger. And so what we've identified is individuals who have a low level of a biomarker called PC594, and if they have low levels, they're at extremely elevated risk of getting pancreatic cancer. And so it turns pancreatic cancer from a low incidence disease to a high incidence disease. So individuals with a deficiency in 594 actually have a risk of pancreatic cancer 3 to 4 times higher than the average risk of colon cancer, which brings the ability to start screening for pancreatic cancer a reality. The reason why we can't screen for pancreatic cancer today is that the incidence is so low that the burden or the risk-benefit ratio of screening everybody to find a low number of pancreatic cancers is just not viable. And so our pancreatic cancer blood test changes all that. And so now you can get a blood test, identify if you're at high risk or low risk. If you're at high risk, you should get imaged to determine whether or not there is an early stage pancreatic cancer in your body.
Dayan, I have to ask this question because it's prudent. Is it reimbursable? If not today, will it be?
Well, it'll definitely be reimbursable at some point in time. Like, we'll get the FDA approval, and the question obviously becomes in the payor systems. And so that's a whole
Another world.
Another world. So right now it's a private pay product in Canada. It's at $95 a blood test.
Oh, so we're not talking ridiculous pricing.
No, we're not talking ridiculous pricing at all.
Okay, so that makes more sense.
Well, the goal of these products is for population-based monitoring and screening. So it's priced at a point where literally millions. The bottom line is everybody over the age of 50 should be getting the blood test every 2 years. So you can't have a blood test every 2 years at that large a population and charge $1,000 for it. No one's going to reimburse that.
Well, it's standard operating procedure if you're doing a yearly exam, and they put out the tray. This is just one more thing that they would screen for. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, exactly right. And it's the benefit. So for instance, for colon cancer, so colon cancer, if it's detected early in stage 1 and 2, is a very low cost of treatment, very high survival rate. So our blood test, when we economically model it, even using moderate prices, not even counting in Avastin, will save it's about a $1.2 billion per year savings in Canada, and 20,000 people save their lives. And so it's not trivial. Like, the health economics is quite extensive. And so that's kind of what we're looking at doing. Is it has to be a win-win opportunity. It has to help both the patient and the payors.
Do I have the same biomarker for colon cancer as you do?
Yes, you have the same biomarkers. We all have them. It's in every single person. It's like a type 2 diabetes. We all have glucose. The question isn't whether we have it or not. It's whether or not you have healthy levels or abnormal levels.
And your test confirms whether or not you have high levels or low levels.
Exactly. It's like going for your doctor to get a blood glucose test. If your blood glucose is high, you have type 2 diabetes. But type 2 diabetes isn't really a disease. You don't die of diabetes. You die of kidney failure. You die of liver failure. You go blind. Most people who diabetes die of cardiovascular disease. So the blood glucose itself isn't the negative health consequence. It's a complication of diabetes that is the health managed issue. So the same thing is with colon cancer and pancreatic cancer. So a low level of GTA446 for Chologic identifies you as being at high risk of colon cancer. And it's a quantitative, accurate assay to determine that. And then the goal, obviously, would be in the future, as you do with type 2 diabetes, in that you restore those levels to normal. And we know, if you take a look across the world, people in India, there's different geographical regions of the world who have extremely low incidences of colon cancer. So we know that colon cancer is preventable, and it is, what we don't know exactly is how to institute an actual scientifically based prevention program.
For more information, which website do you want to send them to?
You can go to our home site, which is www.phenomenome.com, and there'll be a good description of how our science works, our main products in colon cancer, pancreatic, and Alzheimer's disease. And we're actually 2 large clinical trials are ongoing right now in ovarian cancer. So by the end of 2015, we should have the 3 cancer products and the Alzheimer's product on sale.
I'm going to let you spell Phenomenome.
I actually get it wrong myself sometimes. PHENOMENOME.com.
Phenomenome Discoveries, ladies and gentlemen. Dayan Goodenowe, Shelley Craft, SNNLive. We're coming to you live from the Healthcare Week in San Francisco 2015. Diane, thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much, Shelley. It's been a pleasure
SNN.
being here.
Good to see you.
Thank you.